There's a stage in growth that doesn't get talked about enough. It's not the beginning, it's not the breakthrough, it's not the messy middle. It's what comes after. After you've done some healing, after you've built awareness, after you've confronted patterns, after you've set boundaries, after you've sat with uncomfortable truths, there's a quieter stage, integration. And that's what thriving actually is. Thriving isn't constant happiness, it isn't perfection, it isn't the absence of struggle. It's stability, it's self trust, it's responding instead of reacting, it's living from alignment instead of survival. That's the reason the Thrive Journal is designed for. Because once you've built awareness and understanding, the next step isn't digging deeper, it's integrating what you've learned. If Discover is about noticing, if Flourish is about understanding, Thrive is about embodiment. It's about asking, how do I live this? How do I sustain this? How do I build a life that reflects the growths I've already done? At this stage, the question shifts. You're not asking, why do I feel this way? You're asking, how do I respond differently now that I know? You're not asking, what's wrong with me? You're asking, what supports the version of me I'm becoming? That's a different energy, and it requires a different type of structure. Thrive level reflection isn't about uncovering trauma, it's about strengthening identity. You've already examined your patterns. Now you're enforcing healthier ones. You've already recognized your triggers. Now you're practicing steadier responses. You've already questioned limiting beliefs. Now you're replacing them with grounded truth. Integration requires repetition, and repetition builds resilience. One of the most powerful things about this stage is self-trust. When you've done healing work, you start to trust your intuition more. You recognize when something feels misaligned. You notice when your energy shifts. You know when boundary needs to be reinforced. Thrive level journaling helps you maintain that awareness. It becomes a space to check in and ask, am I living in alignment with what I've learned? Am I honoring my boundaries? Am I protecting my peace? Am I acting with clarity or fear? These are not beginner questions. They require honesty, they require stability, they require emotional capacity. That's why Thrive isn't the starting point. It's the continuation. Another key part of thriving is a long-term vision. At this stage, you're not just managing emotions, you're designing your life intentionally. You are considering, what kind of relationships do I want to nurture? What habit supports my mental stability? What environments feel healthy? What patterns do I refuse to return to? Thriving is proactive. It's not reactive growth, it's intentional living. And that shift changes everything. Instead of constantly responding to emotional triggers, you're building systems that reduce triggers. Instead of constantly fixing problems, you're building structure that prevents unnecessary chaos. That's maturity, not in age, but in awareness. Thrive level journaling also helps you measure growth differently, not by intensity, not by dramatic breakthroughs, but by steadiness. How quickly do I recover from stress now? How clearly do I communicate? How often do I abandon myself? How often do I return to alignment? Those subtle metrics matter because thriving isn't loud, it's consistent. Another powerful part of this stage is resilience. Resilience isn't about never struggling, it's about how you move through struggle. Thrive level reflection helps you evaluate responses in real time. Instead of spiraling for weeks, you recognize the pattern in hours. Instead of ignoring red flags, you acknowledge them immediately. Instead of abandoning boundaries, you reinforce them calmly. That's growth embodied. And it's sustainable. Now let me say what Thrive is not for. It's not for someone brand new to self-reflection. If you haven't built awareness yet, integration feels abstract. It's not for someone in crisis. If you're emotionally flooded, stabilization comes first. And it's not for someone looking for dramatic emotional excavation. It isn't about digging, it's about building. It's about strengthening emotional muscles you've already developed, and strengthening takes repetition. Thrive journaling works best when you revisit themes, when you check in regularly, when you refine your responses, when you reinforce boundaries. It's steady work, not glamorous, not flashy, not dramatic, but powerful. Because integration is what prevents regression. Healing without integration can feel temporary. You learn something, but you don't live it. Thriving is living it. It's waking up and choosing alignment repeatedly. It's noticing when old patterns try to return and calmly choosing differently. It's noticing when old patterns try to return and calmly choosing differently. It's knowing yourself well enough to trust your next step. And that kind of self-trust changes how you move through the world. It changes relationship, it changes work. It changes habits, it changes decision. But slowly, that's the theme here. Slow, sustainable, intentional. If you've done the healing, if you built awareness, if you've examined your patterns, if you feel stable enough to ask what now, you might be in thriving season. And thriving isn't about achieving more. It's about living better. Living aligned, living aware, living grounded. And sometimes the structure of a journal helps you maintain that alignment. Because growth doesn't stop when you feel better. It evolves, it integrates, it strengthens. Thriving isn't the end of the journey. It's the season where you start living what you've learned. And that's a beautiful place to be.